Welcome back to the return episode of the CRL Podcast. My name is Caleb Smith, driver of the 54 High Five Racing truck and ARCA car on Monday and Wednesday nights on OSR Network, joined by Rob.
Yeah, this is I, Rob Sherwood. I am a CRL super fan who also occasionally invades the league and drives every once in a while, especially at COTA. And I know Evan Kenny is excited to hear that.
Yes, I believe the code race is Rob Don't Touch My Ass 45. So um, or the Rob Sherwood Don't Touch My Ass 45. So that
Yeah.
should be a good one. I can't race in it. What a race to potentially win. I wonder what the
Oh,
trophy will look like.
yeah. I can only imagine when those guys are
Um,
involved. I'm looking at you, Nate.
yeah, only Nate, only Nate.
Yeah, only
Um,
Nate.
so you guys may have noticed, no Jacob with us. He is, for the time being, retired from racing. So it will be only myself and Rob doing the podcast from now on for the near future. And we would also like to apologize for the break we took. We was only supposed to be 2 weeks. Life had gotten into the way. Um, and Rob, like he said, super fan, hasn't been racing as much. Rob, would you like to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, just life, man. Just life. Things are busy. I've gone back to school, so pretty busy with that. And then, honestly, just enjoying time, taking care of myself and spending with the family and just kind of prioritizing other things. So I always hear about the races from my guys, Josh, Ross, Matt, Maddie, all those guys. And so I get to kind of live vicariously through them. But most nights, if I'm around, it's spent doing homework in the Discord with them. So, yeah, I have. I wish I could say that I have missed it more than I have, but honestly, it's kind of been nice to have my Monday nights free, and just lay in bed and we'll watch the race sometimes. It's a different perspective and a lot less stress.
Yeah, I I remember when I had stepped away from racing and I went up to the booth. I my Monday nights weren't clear because I was broadcasting and commentating the races, but the stress level wasn't as high because I wasn't the one racing. But it was nice to not race for a while and kind of take a break um, from racing. But we hope that you decide to come back. I know you made some starts here and there, um, but maybe full time racing in the future.
Um, yeah, I don't really know, honestly. I wish I could say. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It depends on if I really get the itch again. It hasn't really been there for me, but I mean, you never know. It could happen.
Yeah, well, uh, I'm sure that everyone will really appreciate it, including Evan Kinney. He's a big fan, so
Big massive
big
fan.
massive fan, and especially with Coda coming up.
Yeah.
It's just what a guy. Um, However, this episode, you know, coming back to the CRL podcast, bringing it back, from the dead. Not really, but we haven't been doing it for a while. We took a break from it, like we said, life got in the way. But we're back. Gonna be every Monday morning. Um, and it's you wake up, start your week with a recap of the last. That is the goal of like our return. So Monday morning, when you're listening to this, you'll be listening to it before the playoffs start. Or if you listen to it that Tuesday morning, you should. Our goal is to start the week with the series, so you can kind of get a recap of maybe if you missed last week. So that's the goal. But we're just going to recap the regular season of season 24 before we go into our playoff episode, which will be out after this one. So um, we're just going to be going through all 10 races in the regular season, discuss the winners, two winners that didn't make the playoffs, and yeah, so let's just hop right into it. Starting with Daytona. Um, you know, uh, long long race. Um, we had the duel to kind of set the field. Parker Collins ended up winning the duel, so he was on pole for that race. But Mike Kelly ended up winning that race, locking himself into the playoffs. Um, and then
and
going,
and then proceeded to go back to back at Rockingham the following week.
yeah. I don't think I finished that race. I think I got wrecked out of that one, or wrecked out of that one. Rockingham's not a strong suit for me, but yeah, Mike Kelly back to back wins. But the season kind of, I think he'll even say this: the season hasn't gone his way, even though he won the opening two races. Um, I think he'll tell you that even if had he not won those, he may be closer to the cutoff than he was, with him winning. So I guess that just
Well,
goes,
it's all about perspective, right? We
yeah,
talk about this. It's when you win the first two races of the season. I think if you don't win from there on out, anything feels like a letdown. For
yeah,
example, I remember I'm a big Washington Commanders fan, and I remember thinking last year, they ended up making the NFC Championship game, but you have a team like the Detroit Lions who nearly went undefeated last year, and if they lose that last game, then they're obviously disappointed versus a team that goes on a 7 game win streak and makes the playoffs and makes a run. So it's all about perspective. Guys that had a bad start to the season, that had a good start, that had a good finish to the year, will be very pleased. But yeah, I think you're right. I'm sure that he would feel disappointed. Especially having come out and won those first two races, then probably not really met his expectations for what he wanted to do the rest of the season.
yeah. And we go into the next week, and we're looking at Dover, um, a Parker Collins sweep from pole to the race win. Um, so and one thing I would also like to point out, 40 drivers for like the first four races, 40, 40, 38, 40. So really good turnouts for these races, and definitely not easy fields to win in. Um, I mean, this is by far, I mean, these past 2, 3 seasons have been the most competitive this series has ever been. Um, so the fact that we have multi-time winners in one season, um, only goes to show how talented these guys are. Uh, but yeah, Parker Collins winning at Dover, and then going to Kentucky. You got Lane Hostler, defending series champion.
Yeah, I mean, he's he's in the Hall of Fame for a reason, right?
Yeah,
Kentucky's a really challenging track to drive. So I'm not surprised that guys like him and Parker and Josh and Ross will be up at the front at tracks like that. But yeah, Lane's a freak. We know that he is just a beast. So um, yeah, I can't say that I'm surprised. And honestly, his teammate Parker, they are I think they are able to push each other and make each other better because obviously I've seen a massive improvement in Parker just since he started racing with us several seasons ago. So, I mean, you pointed out Dover. Not only did he win Dover, he swept Dover because he qualified pole and he won.
yeah,
Um, and so for Lane to follow that up with a win at Kentucky, you have both of the teammates locked into the playoffs. They just came into this season on a roll, just like they finished last season. Lane trying to defend that title.
yeah, and and locking himself into the playoffs, doing it the easy way. Well, I guess. Go ahead and not having to worry about making the playoffs with on points. Moving to Sonoma, um, I won that. Um,
Yes, you did, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you, good sir. It wasn't easy. Darren Staff, I will have to give a shout out. Raced me clean. He had some unfortunate circumstances happen with the lap car. Rob, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Um, but he had some unfortunate circumstances with the lap car, and albeit I understand the frustration, he raced me clean, and round of applause to him. So we appreciate that around here in the Clean Racing League, um, even when unfortunate circumstances happen. Uh, moving on
As
to,
as Joe would say, it's in the name.
yep, it is in fact in the name, and he'll say it too. Um,
He will.
yeah. He'll let you know. Um, moving on to Texas, Ross the boss Tatum, what a guy.
I,
Um,
for one, as his teammate and friend, am disappointed that it took him 6 races to win. And honestly, that doesn't meet his expectations or mine, to be quite honest.
well, it took him 6 races, and then he won 2 of the last 5. So, you know,
Well, yeah, I guess. Okay, we'll let him off the hook, I suppose.
it is what it is. Uh, moving on to, in my opinion, and I feel like a lot of people share this opinion as well. From this season, Auto Club, best race of the season by far. It was really good. Long runs, the way the track felt, the way people raced each other. That is what clean racing is. That is what the clean racing league is. Auto Club, best race of the season. Ricky Harden wins. Um, unfortunate, he doesn't make the playoffs because he was 1 race short of his 6 race requirement. So
Ooh.
yeah, it's very very unfortunate. But we have rules in place to you know get people to show up, and just it was just 1 race,
The
and then we had
the start limit is unfortunately hard in the rules. So
yep, and
you see what I
yeah,
did there?
it, it's hard in the rules, yeah.
Yeah.
What a guy. Um, yeah, and then
Sorry,
moving
Ricky.
on, I mean, and then we had something similar happen the next week. Bristol Motor Speedway, Darren Staff, same situation. He wins, doesn't make the playoffs. He had the same amount of starts as Ricky Harden. So 2 guys, like I said earlier before we even started talking about the wins, 2 guys, very talented. They win races, aren't racing for a championship because of the race starts. So,
Yeah.
um,
Also, I'm gonna speak about Bristol real quick, just because that's the only race I've run this season. Damn, did I feel slow? Holy shit, I felt rusty. Yeah, yeah. Our league is really good.
yeah, it's I I'm not good just turning left. Um,
You need some right
and
turns in there to make yourself feel at home.
yeah, well, I was telling the high five guys earlier that I only made the playoffs because of my ability to turn right. Because as we'll get into it to the next episode, uh, I had 160 total points in the season. Eric Anderson, who was on the cut line of 12, that made the playoffs, had 210. So I wouldn't have even sniffed the playoffs had I not won that race.
Right, but you did.
So yeah, but I did. So
Yeah,
just that's just the way it rolls.
yeah. That's why the cookie crumbles.
It's the way the cookie crumbles. Going into the next race at Darlington, another Parker Collins sweep. At this point, it just kind of seems like, apart from, Bristol and Daytona, 2 kind of wild card tracks, I feel like, because Bristol, kind of has a lot of incidents happen, in Daytona. Another Parker Collins sweep at Darlington, a real driver's track. Just a
It's
track where you,
such an it's such an advantage to get out front there in clean air,
oh yeah,
especially if you don't have cautions. If you can qualify on pole, it's so hard to pass there, and it's so hard to save tires that clean air just means so much there. Not to discredit, I can speak from experience, how much more enjoyable it is watching everybody else in your mirror fight it out going into turn one than it is, being 12th place going into turn one, hoping that you're not going to get taken out by somebody coming off the wall.
yeah, I would say that whole race, um, it was it was weird because our truck race had a few cautions. Our ARCA race also had quite a few incidents, but no cautions. Um, but the way the truck felt at Darlington, just kind of how tight it got. Um, I think you've seen a lot of guys struggle. Um, I know I definitely did. Um, it wasn't my best race. But then you go to the regular season cutoff, a bunch of drivers in must-win situations, and we seen a lot of incidents early. I was in one of them, no fault of my own for once. Just kind of unfortunate circumstances given the race and the situation a lot of drivers were in. Um, Wreck happened, got caught up in it. But Ross Tatum uh, brings home his second win of the season. Um, and now he's included in the list with Mike Kelly, Parker Collins, and himself as the only multi-time winners this season going into the playoffs.
Cream rises to the top, man. Always does, especially those guys.
Yeah, and you're talking about championship contender last season, Parker Collins, um, Mike Kelly, who had an unfortunate playoff run last year, but multi-time winner even when he was unchartered and not racing for a championship. And then Ross Tatum, two-time champion, first back-to-back champion in series history. So, um, yeah, I mean that's the regular season, and I mean it's 10 weeks. I mean you don't know what's going to happen when you take the green flag at Daytona to win the checkered flies at Atlanta. Anything can really happen, and it's been an up and down season for a lot of drivers, um, and kind of stressful for some in the playoff standings. So just
This
with how
season, oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, just how this season played off, and the and we won't get into incidents and all of that. Um, our series is really competitive. So if you make the playoffs
Yeah.
in the Clean Racing League, the Truck Series, um, you you're you're pretty good at wheeling a virtual car. So it's uh it's very exciting. I'm very excited to see how the playoffs shape up. And yeah,
Yeah, I got to give a special shout out to our rookie. I would probably say, well, he's in contention for rookie of the year, with Breaky finishing fourth in regular season points. I know he was really excited to get in here on Mondays and race with us, so I'm really glad he had a good season. The only reason I say in contention is because it's hard to argue with Darren Stapp when he comes in and wins two races and six starts, Um, but yeah, it's that's the good and bad thing about this season, is the hopes and the expectations for everybody. At the beginning of every season, everybody expects to do better than what they end up, or they exceed their expectations. Very rarely does it turn out to be where somebody, overperforms or, doesn't meet up to their standards type thing. So yeah, it's exciting, and honestly, the season has been so long that we had a really interesting storyline this year. We had a former champion retire, and then actually come back. That's how long this season was.
well, yeah, and to just say how long it is between races. Keep in mind, it's only 7 days. Um, he retired and came back just in time for a race 2 days later. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
he retired after what was it? What was it? Was it Auto Club?
It might have been after Texas. I can't even remember at this point. It feels so long ago.
Yeah, well, either way, he retired and came back the next week. I would also like to point out, when I retired and went up to the booth, I did it for 2 seasons before I decided to come back.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so when I said it, I meant it. Um,
He texted me the day or 2 days after and was asking about my Moza R5 bundle. And it was at that point that I knew this retirement will not last. He went home, spent some time with his family, and pulled a Tom Brady and said, I can't do this. I have to go back.
I have to
He,
compete.
he wanted the pain and suffering of every Monday night. He just, that's all he wants in life, apparently.
I tell you what, no league, and I've been in quite a few leagues. No league has made me work harder um, than this one. Just like how hard I have to like push myself to just finish the race, um, and like try to do good. Because I've raced in plenty of other leagues, and I've won in those leagues, and mainly on road courses. But I feel like I did pretty good on the ovals. But here, I'll be lucky if I get a top 15. That's just how it is. Um, so yeah, I mean, racing is very time consuming, especially when you have the track in front of you anytime you want to get on it. It's right there. That's the joys of sim racing. Um, the if you want to go turn some laps, like we're at Kansas Monday night, you can just get on the sim, turn some laps. You're like, all right, I'm fine, and then you start racing, and you're 22nd. You're like, all right, well, something went wrong, but
Yeah, this did not go according to
this
plan.
this did not. Yeah, no, I that was me at Darlington. Yeah, I turned. I think I turned like 80 laps in the truck, take the green flag, and I think I finished 14th. I was so confident going into it. I'm like, I hate Darlington. I'm gonna do good. And then next thing I know, I'm 14th. But I finished third in the ARCA race 2 days later.
Hey,
So
there you go. Vindication.
yep, had to. So had some help from Mike Kelly on the last lap. You know, giving
Shout
giving
out,
some
Mike.
pressure. Yep, giving some pressure to Joshua Altus. You know, Tom Brady in disguise. So
Yeah, I was going to
it,
ask if that was pre-retirement or post-retirement.
no,
He
no,
might have been a little rusty.
yeah, no, that was post retirement.
Oh, okay. He just
Um,
has some rust. That's all.
yeah, it was post retirement. So but I wasn't gonna let him pass me anyway. He was gonna have to move me. So I was talking to Joe. I was gonna talk to Joe. God damn it, it was gonna happen. Um,
I mean, you could probably pop in and talk to him anytime you like. You don't have to wreck somebody to finish on the podium, you know?
so I do talk to Joe here and there. Um, I feel like, and this is I mean it's sort of on topic with racing. I haven't gone back and I haven't watched. I think it was Atlanta. I think it was this past Monday night. Um, we're on the pace lap to go take the green flag, and I hear the Discord sound, and I'm like, okay, because I was eighth place. No, I was ninth place. So I'm on the I'm four four or five rows back on the inside lane. I'm just chilling, and I hear the Discord noise, and I'm like, okay, why am I being interviewed? Like I'm not even I'm not even up front. You can't even see me on the broadcast. Why am I being interviewed? And he goes, what's the points? So before we take the green flag, I'm having to break down the points. And I don't know if this was like on it, like on the broadcast or not, but I'm having to like explain the rules and like the point system and who's in, who's out, and and then this was all coming out of like turn four. Finally, I was like, "Hey, we're about to take the green flag. Like, we gotta, you gotta put me
I
back."
gotta hop out of here, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, you gotta put me back in my chat. Like, but they're probably talking about game plan. You're asking me about points, points that I don't even have to worry about. I'm already locked in. So, but yeah, no, it's this season's been really, really good. We've had some, over aggression at times, but I, I feel like, and we also had a survey put out on the CRL Discord, um, where you can, you know, Joe Joe Spinelli, the Barrel Man himself, put out
Shout out
a
barrels.
yep, shout out to the Barrels. He put out a survey where you can go rate every single driver in the CRL Truck Series. Um, I gave Joshua Altus a one. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, you can go rate all of the drivers. It's completely anonymous. Just kind of give an idea of how everyone feels about all the drivers. Because some drivers drive really aggressive. They drive like it's the Coke Series. We are not getting $100,000. That is not in the budget. So uh, you get a cool belt, but not $100,000.
I mean,
So
it's kind of the same thing.
yeah, I mean, I'd take a wrestling belt. I mean,
Same.
yeah, I mean that. Look, I feel like if there was a Euro NASCAR series, only road courses, I could win a championship in it. I'm serious. I stock car, only road courses. I feel like I'd have a good shot. Um, but that is a conversation for another day. Um, but yeah, anything else you want to talk about in the regular season?
No, I think we pretty much covered it all, bud.
Yep. So, we just this episode was pretty much just talking about just the regular season of season 24 in the truck series. Um, and that's primarily where our focus is going to be on this podcast for these first two opening episodes. Um, as at the current moment of recording this, we don't have the ARCA series playoff numbers, the points. Something happened with the website, which, by the way, shout out to Joe Spinelli, Barrel Man himself. Um,
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. He has done an incredible job with the website. Actually, that's a great shout out.
yeah, if you haven't been to the website, which that's where the points are, it's fantastic looking. All of our sponsors are there. Ghost Athletics, um, Savage Sim Wraps. Um, you got Grant Designs. Um, you can go to OSR Network straight from the website. It's very clean. You can just you need to find something. It's all on the website. So yeah, shout out to Joe for revamping the website. We really appreciate it, and makes it look very very clean for anyone trying to find out what the Clean Racing League is. Um, and also shout out to our sponsors, like I just said. Um, but yeah, so I think we covered everything for the regular season. So we're going to wrap up this episode, and we're going to hop straight into a bonus episode featuring or talking about the playoffs for the Truck Series. Like I said, don't really have the points for the ARCA Series yet, so apologies for our ARCA Series drivers. We will talk about that next week though, after the first race of the ARC Series playoffs. But you know, from me and Rob, we will talk to you guys. Well, I guess in the next episode, because it's gonna release the same day. So, bye bye.